Hi, welcome. This is Manifest Tarot. Welcome to my channel. In today's reading, I'm so excited. I have a brand new deck here, and it is a deck of using the Greek gods. And in today's reading, it's going to be what messages do the Greek gods have for you right now? So very excited. And I'm going to put this aside for a moment right here, and we will take 3 oracle cards. So we will take 3 oracle cards. I'm feeling this one. This is pile 1. So what messages do the Greek gods have right now? Here's number 2. And this is number 3. So excited. So let's see what we have here. The Weasel and the Pine with introspection. And this is card number 9. So it's card number 9, the Weasel and Pine with introspection. That's pile number 1. Pile number 2. This is 37, the Coyote and Datura with deceit. So pile number 2 is number 37, the Coyote and Datura with deceit. There was a lot of deceit going on in the annals of the Greek gods. And so for pile number 3, we have 39, the Otter and Cattail with peace. Wow, going from deceit to peace. How interesting. Again, this is yes, so it's it's card number 39, the Otter and Cattail with peace. How cute. All 3 of these cards are very lovely. So give me a moment and I will, for those of you that like to pick with crystals, I will be back in a second with the cards with crystals. All right, we are back, and these are our 3 crystals. For pile number 1, this is tiger's eye, in the shape of a heart, of course. Beautiful crystal. For pile number 2, this is black labradorite. This is a very beautiful one. I'm not sure if I can, oh gosh. I'm hoping this beauty of this crystal comes through, this black labradorite. And then for pile number 3, this is amazonite. And all 3 are in the shape of a heart. This one's showing up really well. So take as much time as you need to choose. And I will leave timestamps below, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. I'm going to show you your card again. This is card number 9, the Weasel and Pine with introspection. And then your crystal was this beautiful tiger's eye in the shape of a heart. I'll show you the other side. Here you go. And I always love to also pick a spirit card from the oracle deck. And I always pull it from the bottom. So let's give this a good shuffle. Actually, I'm feeling this one. Oh, wow. What a gorgeous card. And it so matches also with the beautiful tiger's eye. This is card 12, The lizard and pitcher plant with stagnation. Probably because I know that, oh, how interesting. Oh my God, I have so much to say about this, but just off the top, just purely facts, the pitcher plant, also, the water gets in there and becomes stagnant, I'm sure. And water gets in there and stays in there, and then the bugs drown in the pitcher plant water, from what I understand. So how interesting. Gorgeous card. And I think this is a skink, I'm not sure. But oops, I just noticed you can't see the bottom of this card. Here we go, now you can see both. The lizard and pitcher plant with stagnation. And yes, I'm wondering if this is a skink. S-K-I-N-K. Looks like it with the blue tail. I think there's something actually called the blue-tailed skink, but I don't quote me on that. So yes, this is a beautiful deck. It just came out and I just got it. This is a deck featuring the Greek gods and other Greek. Oh my gosh, this is so stiff. I'm going to really shuffle this. You're getting the brand new deck. Oh my gosh. This is such a stiff deck. We are really cracking it open today. It has so much to say. It's been pent up in the box and it's got so much to say. It's ready to tell you everything that you want, that the Greek gods want to tell you, pile number one. Oh my gosh. Now it's breaking up. I'm going to be back in 1 second. I'm going to shuffle these better and then I'll shuffle them with you. So give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I've never had such a stiff deck. I had to actually take apart each card separately. So now they're actually separate and able to be shuffled correctly. I guess they've been hiding for so many centuries that they were a little shy, but now they're out and we are going to ask them what messages do you have for pile number one? Whoa. What messages do you have for pile number one? What messages do you have, Greek gods, for pile number one? So this one, and this one. I'm so intrigued by what messages we'll get. This one, this one, this one, this one. I think one, I was just going to say, I think one more, and there we go. So our spirit card is this one. I will show this to you right now. This is the spirit card for this deck. This is the 10 of Wands with Iris. Ten of Wands. Iris has a very sad story, like a lot of these myths. So let's see what we have here. Your first card is the Ace of Cups with Pontos. I'm familiar with a lot of Greek gods, but I'm not familiar with Pontos. We'll have to check the guidebook for this one. I love this illustration. Pontos. Vil the Chariot. Oh, God, sorry. This is the chariot with Apollo. Obviously, this is extremely appropriate for the chariot. This is Apollo, who they're calling him Apollo, but actually it started out as Helios. Helios was the Greek god that was the god of the sun, who, according to Greek mythology, would drive a chariot across the sky every day. That was the sun. And then that story got co-opted by Apollo. So this can be symbolized both Apollo and Helios in my mind with the chariot. 6 of Pentacles with Thea. This is the Hierophant with Dionysus. Dionysus is the Greek god of wine, as you can tell from this illustration. The 7 of Cups with Hesperus. What another gorgeous illustration. The 9 of Cups with Amphorite. The 8 of Swords with Medusa. The 2 of Wands with Asclepius. He's the one, you know, the wand in the medical, I think the American Medical Association, the wand, the staff is what I should say. That is his staff. The Fool with Pan. Pan is a, oh, those are pan pipes. That's the way, this is where the name pan pipes comes from. He is a satyr. He's part of, oh wow, he's part of Dionysus's crew. So how wonderful that they are right next to each other. And the 8 of Cups with Chiron. That's our last card for right now. Wow, look at all this. Can you see all this? All right, let me see. We have so much going on. I am going to consult the guidebook because I know many of these, but I don't know all of them. So I don't know the story of Pontos, 8 of Cups. Pontus, god of and personification of the sea. As the primordial god of the sea, Pontos represented the sea itself rather than just being a god residing within it, which I'm assuming they're referencing oh gosh, Neptune is his Greek name, but it begins with a P. Poseidon. Poseidon's the Greek god of the sea, but they're saying that this one is the god of the personification. The sea itself is Pontos. He fathered many of the sea deities, including his granddaughter Amphitrite. Poseidon's wife. Oh, wow. Well, look at all of this synchronicity. We have Dionysus and Pan, who ran together in the same crew that was, very, had a lot of parties and drunken revelry. And we have Pontus is the father of Amphitrite, who is the wife of Poseidon. How interesting. And this is what it says about this card. Risen, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, love, fresh beginnings, and creativity. Feel the waves of cool water touch your soul and allow Pontus to wash away emotional baggage from the past to make the most of the bright future ahead of you. With this card, as with the other aces in the tarot, there's an indication of new beginnings and a fresh start. Okay, so I also want to look up a Six of Coins, Thea, coins, which is obviously pentacles. Thea was one of the Titans and the goddess of both sight and the shining of the bright blue sky, hence this background of the sky. An oracular goddess and the prophetic deity, she endowed gold, silver, and gems with their brilliance and radiance. How interesting. So she was one of the Titans who were the forefathers and mothers, literally, of the Greek pantheon, Zeus and Athena and Hera and all of the ones that are more familiar to us. The Titans are less familiar, and as I said, they're the parent, so to speak. A goddess of the bright blue sky, it is easy to feel positive in Thea's presence. As the goddess who imbues precious metals and gems with their radiance, she can also bring a positive energy to your finances and relationship with money. You may be feeling grateful for where you are in life and in a place in which you are able to share your fortunes with others. You're still close enough to the memory of hard times to be able to empathize with those still in them, leaving you with a more generous mindset. This may not just be via the sharing of monetary or physical goods. It can also be a precursor to monetary wealth, time, and wisdom. On the flip side, you may be the one who is receiving benefits from the generosity of others who are helping you to get back on your feet, so you can eventually pay the kindness forward. So let me look up Hesperus and Chiron. 8 of Pentacles. Chiron was a centaur. That's what it was. I was like, so I knew him somehow. Oh, you can see the little horse butt here. And he's an archer, of course. And they were great archers, the centaurs. You can see his little horse butt over there. So, Chiron was a centaur, though it should be noted that unlike his kin, he was neither violent nor savage. He was famous for his wisdom and knowledge of medicine, so right there, instructing many Greek heroes such as Heracles, Achilles, and Asclepius. I'm sorry, I was looking. Oh, we do have him. So they were also related, so to speak. Chiron renounced his immortality after suffering great and unending pain from a stray poison arrow shot by Heracles, yet he lives on in the stars as the constellation Centaurus. So, oh, just so you know, Heracles is an alternate way to say Hercules. So Heracles is Hercules just by another name. And 7 of Cups. Hesperus, god of and personification of the evening star. Hesperus was the personification and god of the evening star and was closely tied with the morning star, Phosphorus, the bringer of light. Both were embodiments of the star Venus, which is, Venus is the Greek name for the, I'm sorry, Venus is the Roman name for the Greek goddess Aphrodite. Wow. So how synchronous. I'm going to put this guidebook aside and just look at all these cards for a moment. So first of all, we have two personifications, the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Cups. This is a personification of Venus. And this is a personification of the sea. And it makes sense for them also to be linked because they're both cups. The reason that I'm really seeing a link between, I feel like there might be something coming up where you are, there's a new beginning linked with a choice for you. There's some sort of choice. Maybe it's before you start something new. Maybe the new start generates a choice. You're going to be making a choice. There's going to be a choice presented to you as part of this new beginning that's coming for you. Let's look here. We have the Six of Pentacles and we have the Eight of Pentacles. Both are very fortunate pentacle cards. And I have to say that this illustration is a tad somber for what the Six of Pentacles represents, which is generosity, abundance and generosity. Did you see, I just noticed there's eyes on her dress. Remember she's goddess of eyesight. So how interesting. What an interesting illustration. But the Six of Pentacles is being so abundant that you have so much that you can give, meaning you're able to spread the wealth, so to speak. And this Eight of Pentacles is like your work has brought you reward. Another very fortunate card. Symbolizing, it's the one right before the Nine of Pentacles and also right before the Ten of Pentacles. So you're building your abundance. You're building your abundance through your hard work and your skill. That's what this is saying. And remember, Chiron was very skilled in teaching, so he taught so many people, including Hercules/Heracles. And the arrow that Hercules shot him with it was a mistake. It wasn't like it was, they didn't say it in the guidebook, but it was a mistake. It wasn't that he shot him with the arrow on purpose. So the way these are positioned here are also kind of telling us a story. We have the Eight of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups right next to each other. Not next to each other, but you know, in the power positions in this lower row. And the Eight of Pentacles is you're building your wealth. The Nine of Cups is obviously one further in the story, the Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment card. It is a card of abundance and a card of so much abundance that you're almost smug. You're so fortunate with you're just sitting there very smug. That's what the message of the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck is. It's like a smugness, and I'm not getting that here. I just feel like it's just abundance. You know how the sea is very abundant in life? I feel that there's not much of a smugness here. Another interesting thing I'm seeing here is this Nine of Cups with the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, Medusa, if you didn't know Medusa, she is a goddess that has snakes' heads, snakes on her head that instead of hair. And what would happen is whenever anybody looked at her, they would turn to stone. And so she was completely cut off from everybody because everybody would not even be able to look at her. And everybody, of course, was very frightened of her and just hated her because she would turn people to stone. And Theseus was sent to deal with her, and he actually killed her by using his shield as a mirror, so he was able to watch her in his shield, and therefore he wasn't turned to stone when he looked at her, and he chopped her head off. How? Some of these are very violent. Some of these Greek myths. Anyway, the messages here are very different. We have the Eight of Swords, which is kind of an immobility. So she actually, if you think about it, she was the one who was holding other people immobile by literally turning them to stone. But she was also held immobile by being so terrifying that she couldn't do anything. She couldn't go down to the local wine bar in Athens and have a cup of wine with her friends. I don't know if they did, but anyway, she couldn't do anything. She had no friends. She couldn't do anything because she was stuck by her own, like her own being. Her own being was deadly to everyone else except herself. And wait a minute, I think I got this wrong. I think that he used the shield as a mirror and she turned herself to stone. It didn't sound right. I think she turned herself to stone with the reflection in his shield. So anyway, she immobilized herself, but what I'm saying, the point of my story is that I consider her to have her own beingness, her own snake's head, thing that turned other people to stone, also kept her immobile because she couldn't do anything that she probably wanted to do. She didn't probably want to not have any friends and not do anything and not be with anybody, not be able to be with anyone. She was held immobile, held away from life. So anyway, the Eight of Swords is saying that there's something in your life right now that's holding you. And I'm wondering if it's your if it's affecting your emotional life, because it's right near the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment and abundance, so much that you are sitting around smug. So you have this immobility right next to this abundance, over, like almost an over. It's not as much of an overabundance. It's not like the 10. It's not like the 10 of Pentacles where it's just so abundant. But there's a lot of abundance in the 9 of Cups, and yet I feel like there's might be something blocking you. I feel like there's something might be blocking you, and it's you. So let's explore this. The 10 of Wands is Iris, and Iris is the messenger god, and she, according to Greek mythology, she would use the rainbow as her highway to deliver messages from the heavens, from Mount Olympus to the earth and back. So that's your spirit card. And the 10 of Wands it's so interesting because it's right near stagnation. So the 10 of Wands is about just being so overwhelmed that you're just giving up. You're just giving up, and it's right near stagnation. And it also flanking this 9 of Cups is the 8 of Swords with Medusa, which is also stagnation. So we have 3 cards telling us the same story surrounding this 9 of Cups. So something, and I think it's you because of the Medusa. The Medusa was doing this to herself unwittingly. She didn't ask to be born with snakes instead of hair. But she even turned herself to stone, right? And this 9 of Cups, what is it that you are doing? And I'm not trying to blame you. It's like, what are you not seeing maybe? What are you not choosing? What are you not choosing that will give you this outcome right now? What is it that you are not seeing about your own journey? And I feel like this card that you were drawn to, this introspection card, this is your question. What is it that you need to let go of, or what is it that you are needing to look at, to choose with this choice card? And it looks like you've got a choice to make. And once you do that, this is not some big, long, drawn-out thing. Because all 3 of these cards that are stagnation and just being overwhelmed and entrapping yourself, they're all surrounding this 9 of Cups. But it doesn't go from these 3 to like the 6 of Pentacles, for instance, or the 8 of Pentacles, where you still have more work to do. It's the 9 of Cups, which isn't a wish fulfillment. So it seems like there's just one step. What is it? This is a question. Let's see if we can get some answers, because we also have the Fool here, which I feel like the Fool is really being linked. I'm going to move this here for right now. The 9 of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Fool. And once we have the Fool, then we have to bring the Hierophant in here, because the Fool and the Hierophant are really linked in this reading, because, as I said, Dionysus and Pan were very, Pan was one of Dionysus's followers, and they bring a lot of life and happiness, good times, just like the 9 of Cups. So another way that we're linking this choice to this 9 of Cups. The Hierophant is stability, is knowing what you know, having a stable base, having a family, having that emotional like stability. The Nine of Cups, you are almost at the Ten of Cups. You're one step away from the complete and utter ending, happy ending of the emotional journey in the tarot deck. Okay? And so we have the story these cards are telling me is that you have a choice. You have a new beginning. You have a choice to make a new beginning, and then it's pretty quickly going to turn to stability and wish fulfillment. And it looks like you've done a lot of hard work already. It looks like you've been generous. I feel like this choice and this stepping into this person who is stable and loved and loving and abundant is not a very not a very long journey. It's very quick, because what is right next to this is filling out this little rectangle here. It's the Chariot. Chariot is quick movement, forward movement, moving ahead. So I'm really seeing that this introspection card is telling us that introspection is going to get you out of this stagnation. This feeling overwhelmed, this feeling that you're stuck, and quick energy is taking you into this Nine of Cups energy. We also have this Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is the moment before you're starting out on your new path and you're taking stock. You're not on the journey yet, but you are just about ready to go. So I feel like we need to pull a few more cards just to see what this is. Is there any information that the gods want to tell us about this choice that you have to make, about this new start? How about these three? Let's see if this will tell us. What messages would you like to tell us? Wow. The Ten of Cups with the Naiads. The Naiads are the water, like the water spirits. So I feel like this isn't telling us anything that we don't know, because we're going, like the Nine of Cups obviously is right before the Ten of Cups. So the cards are telling you, the Greek gods are telling you that this is what you can do if you just, it's just like getting over this last hump. The Three of Cups, oh my gosh, this is another really happy card with friendship and abundance of friendship with the graces. The three graces are three gods, the three graces, the graces. Queen of Wands with Psyche. Another really favorable card. They're not saying, maybe the message is you already know. You already know what this is about, so I don't have to tell you. I feel like this is what's happening, is that you don't need me to tell you, or you don't need me and the Greek gods to tell you what this is all about. They're telling you what you can achieve, or what's waiting for you just around the corner with making this choice and getting out of the stagnation, because the Queen of Wands is the personification, as a card, the personification of someone who is completely knows her magic. The Three of Cups is a card of conviviality and fellowship and just really happy times. And the Ten of Cups is complete wish fulfillment. Remember I said the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment and a little bit of smugness usually. The Ten of Cups is just complete and utter bliss and togetherness and just massive happiness and abundance. So what the cards are telling us, I think, is that this choice this choice, you have to, you already know, because we're getting nothing but it's telling you what you're going to get at the end. You have to, they're telling you to go forward into this new thing that you are choosing with speed and with the passion of the brand new beginner, the new beginner, the new beginning, the just rushing in like a fool almost, and it will all turn out beautifully. That's what the cards are telling me. We're going from the Ten of Wands, which is just almost, how should I say it? Overwhelming, defeated feeling, to the Ten of Cups, which is overwhelming happiness. And your spirit cards are stagnation and the Ten of Wands, which is stagnation and defeat. And then we go from that through introspection to the Ten of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Queen of Wands. I don't think the Greek gods could be any clearer that whatever this choice is that you have to make, your introspection is going to lead you correctly into making the correct choice, and you're urged to go forward into this new thing that you already know. That's the thing. You listen to your desires. You listen to what you desire and you make it a reality through your manifestations, because it's going to turn out perfectly. That's what I have for you, and that's what the Greek gods are telling you right now. Don't delay. The Chariot saying, don't delay, go today. Whatever this is, whether it be relationships, whether it be finance, whether it be a new venture that you're doing, that maybe you're like, I feel like it could be a new venture that you are just not daring quite to do, just not quite daring. Go for it. If it's something that you're manifesting and you are doubting, go for it. Just do it. Just keep at it. And you will succeed. There's no doubt. That's what this reading is telling you today, pile number 1. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. The Greek gods have spoken, and they are telling you all of these great things, and I hope that you really enjoyed it, and that you will, if you did, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps. And also subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any other readings. And thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. And have a great day, pile number 1, after this amazing reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You picked this really adorable card. This is card number 37. The Coyote and the Datura with Deceit. What a jolly little coyote. And you also picked this gorgeous black Labradorite. I hope the camera's picking up a little bit of how gorgeous this crystal is. And I'm going to be using this brand new Greek Gods deck. Before we get to that, I'm going to like to pick another card. This is the same Oracle deck as we used to pick the 3 initial cards. I'm just going to pick the Spirit card, which is the one that's on the bottom. So I feel this one. The Cat and the Lavender. Let me show you this one. This is card 1. The Cat and the Lavender with Independence. You all know how independent cats are. So that's a good... So that's a good word for this cat. All right, so today, Greek gods, we are asking what pile number 2? What you would like to tell pile number 2, actually. What you would like to tell pile number 2. What would you like to tell pile number 2 today? What would you like to tell pile number 2? I think that's enough for now. Let's see if that's enough. We'll put it here. Well, we'll put it up here. We might pull more. I'm not sure how many we have. The 6 of Pentacles just came up with pile number 1 with Thea. Well, actually, I'm going to put that there, so let me put it here. Oops. Oh, yeah, it is up, right side up. It's the Hanged Man with Prometheus. Oh, wow, what a perfect choice for the Hanged Man. So Prometheus was the... he's a Greek god, and he felt really bad for the humans that were on the... were on Earth and were suffering before, shivering around. They didn't know how to harness fire. So he, against the gods' wishes, the other gods' wishes, he went down and gave them fire, gave humans fire. And for that, he was chained up for eternity on the rocks. And every day, the birds... These birds, that's why you see these birds in here in the background. they would come and eat, I think, his liver. Gruesome story. But anyway, so he was chained for eternity at this rock. So, wow. The Knight of Wands is Heracles, aka Hercules. So Heracles is just another word for Hercules. And he wore a lion skin. So that's why we have this lion in the background. Knight of Wands. Wheel of Fortune with Demeter. Wow, what another perfect god for the card. Demeter is the goddess of like abundance and harvest. And her daughter was kidnapped by the god Hades. Hades is the name of the god, and Hades is also the name of the underworld. So Hades kidnapped Demeter's daughter Persephone, and she stopped it from being summer. Like, she made it winter on Earth, so that until Hades brought her daughter back, and everybody on Earth was suffering. There was, they were starving and cold and whatever. So Zeus himself said, you have to bring Demeter back, Persephone back up Hades. But in the meanwhile, Hades had tricked her by having her eat a certain number of pomegranate seeds. Some of the myths say 4, some say 6, but anyway. So with just eating those little seeds, Persephone was made to stay in the underworld either 4 or 6 months out of the year. So Demeter, each year when Persephone is down in the underworld, she makes it winter, and she only allows spring to happen when Persephone comes back up. So what a perfect card for the Wheel of Fortune. Let's look what else we have. Oops. The 10 of Pentacles with Tyche. This is a total wish fulfillment card. 10 of Pentacles. Look at this cornucopia. Looks like also like cinnamon sticks or something. Anyway, very abundant card. Queen of Cups. Oh my gosh, look at these cards you're getting with Phoebe. Oh my gosh, pile number 2. What is going on with you? Queen of Swords. Oh my gosh. What is going on in your life? Pile number 2. This is amazing. Can't wait for the last card here. The 7 of Swords with the Erinyes. We're going to have to look that up. What a beautiful card. And then since we're done right now, we're going to take the Spirit card, which is the King of Wands with Kronos. Kronos was a Titan. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe this spread here. We have the Wheel of Fortune and the Hanged Man, which is so funny because this is kind of the same energy I have to say, the only card that is in common with pile number 1 is the 6 of Pentacles. Yet with these completely different cards, we're getting the same energy, which is stagnation and movement. So interesting. So I'm pretty familiar with Greek gods. I loved Greek gods when I was a child, but I'm not. I'm going to look up Tyche, Phoebe, and Erinyes, I think. So Thea was the god, or is the god of eyesight in the sky. If you can see, her dress has eyes on it, and of course she's backed by the sky. So interesting. So let's look at the Ten of Pentacles. Tyche, goddess of fortune, chance, and prosperity. I mean, that's just obvious with this giant cornucopia and her cinnamon stick headdress, cinnamon stick and pentacle headdress, and her pentacle barrette. She's so abundant, she's even wearing money in her hair. All right. Tyche, the goddess who presided over chance and fortune, was protective of individuals and families and was often moderated by Nemesis, the goddess of retribution. Tyche, the goddess presiding over prosperity, has brought fortune to you in this completion of your journey. You may achieve abundance through dedication and hard work, and will be blessed in turn. There is a sense of commitment that may come from this success, and a desire to make sure it brings permanence rather than short-term gains, which is really interesting because it's right underneath. So we'll read these two together right now, the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is abundance, and also like sharing your abundance. It's sharing what you have with others because you are so abundant. So we have two super abundant cards together. Oops. The King of Wands. I guess the King of Wands wants to be noticed right now. Let me put these back and then we'll notice you, King of Wands. Well, let's look it up. Maybe the King of Wands wants to be looked up. Maybe he wants to be read about. Let's see. Kronos is, you've probably heard this before. Kronos is the god of time. Born to Uranus in Gaia, Kronos overthrew his father to become the king of the Titans. In keeping the prophecy, history would repeat. Kronos was overthrown by his son Zeus and imprisoned in Tartarus in the underworld. The thing is with this, Kronos ate all of his children because he was afraid that one of them would do what he did. And Zeus, and every day he was blinded. I think this is Kronos. Yeah, I think this is Kronos. Anyway, I think so. I'm almost 100% sure. So anyway, he was blinded. He was a Cyclops in the myths, and he was blinded. And so every day his wife would let the sheep out to graze out of their cave. Some of these stories are wild. And so every day he would feel the sheep and make sure she wasn't hiding anything. And then he would let them go out to graze. Well, she kept her son alive by tying him to the belly of one of the sheep so that every day that her son could go out. And then when he was old enough, he defeated Kronos. Oh, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna look this up because I think this is it. And let me just make sure. Yes, so I was right. I just wanted to make sure I was telling you the right thing. So that's him. And he ate his children. And so when, and they were all hanging out living in his stomach. So when Zeus defeated him, he cut him open and let all of his siblings out. And those were the main gods and goddesses of the Greek pantheon. There's a lot of crazy stories in this, in Greek mythology, let me tell you. So we have the Kronos, and we have Tyche. Now we know who that is. So the Queen of Cups, I'm going to look that up. Queen of Cups. These are beautiful cards, huh? So goddess of bright intellect and prophetic minds. Wow. Phoebe is one of the Titan goddesses. Her name signifies brightness. She has strong ties to the moon and to prophecy and oracles. So compassion, calmness, comfort, kindness, wisdom, and support. Phoebe, the goddess of bright intellect, is here to help lend her wisdom and help you to be the truest, most authentic version of yourself. Her wisdom is manifesting into a deeper understanding of yourself and into finding an inner guide to lead you in the right direction. Wow, pile number 2. You may find it easier to communicate with others and be understanding and empathetic to their issues, being heard and understood by them in turn. While you're in a prime position to help and connect with others, there's also a wisdom in self-care and in making sure you focus on your own emotional health so you are more able to help others. That was so awesome because look, there's a message here with these two. 6 of Coins, as I said already, 6 of Coins is being so abundant that you're giving to others. And these are kind of, they're not canceling each other out, but they're meeting. They're telling 2 sides of the same story. Yes, it's great to help each other out and be generous, but it's also great to make sure you yourself are taken care of first. Being abundant, that's a thing. It's not being stingy, it's being abundant to yourself first. You have to be abundant to yourself first. You're your first priority. So Circe and the Erinyes, Queen of Swords. Let's look up. It's so interesting, these cards. The Queen of Swords. Goddess of sorcery, illusion, and necromancy. Wow, necromancy is rising up spirits or corpses from the dead. Depending, you can either mean it to raise up the spirits of the dead or to raise up the corpses of the dead. Circe was greatly skilled in the magic of transmutation, illusion, and necromancy, and a goddess of sorcery. She lived on Aia with nymph companions, and on various occasions used her skills in defense to transmute men into animals. Complexity, perceptiveness, clear-mindedness, protection, strong female figure. The last one I want to look up is the 7 of Swords, the Erinyes. The Furies, oh, of course, okay, the Furies, goddesses of vengeance and retribution. The Erinyes were 3 goddesses who presided over vengeance and retribution and lived in the underworld, punishing men for crimes against the natural order. They took special care over homicide and crimes against women and of parents upon children. Deception, trickery, tactics, strategy, lies, and cunning. So, in the original, not original, of course, but in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this 7 of Swords is someone is stealing the swords, the weapons of their enemy, and they are bringing them away so that the enemy can't fight. So there is quite, I can see why there's this deception and trickery in here. Did someone do something I feel like this is not you in this reading. I feel like this is something that happened to you, this deception and trickery. What happened to you in the past? And obviously, this King of Wands, not the card itself, but the story of Kronos is also deception and trickery. Maybe something happened to you and it was really difficult to get over. And there's a strong undercurrent of deception and trickery. We have Kronos defeating his own father, and then being so terrified that it would happen to him that he caused it to be happening to happen. Do you see what I mean? If he had just treated his kids correctly and not eaten them, then no one would have treated him the way they did. They wouldn't have defeated him in turn. But since he did, then they did. So this deception and trickery that we are seeing in the Seven of Swords, in the King of Wands, what happened to you that we are seeing this undercurrent of? Pile number 2. Because I knew, I was looking at all these cards going, what other card was it that I was seeing? Of course, it's your main one. It's deceit. Isn't that just so interesting? Because what are the chances of all of this deceit coming up in the same pile with these 3? Something really did happen to you that was very difficult to live through. Pile number 2, I can see that. And it caused you to live this hanged man life, for lack of a better word. So, and if you think about it, this Prometheus myth that I said is also full of, because he actually tricked the other gods by bringing fire to the humans, but he did it for an altruistic reason. Maybe something that you did for an altruistic reason, or something that had to be done for the good of others, led to some consequence. Maybe that's what happened. And that was very nice of you, pile number 2. And so that's all in the past. This is what I'm seeing, this deceit, this betrayal, this trickery, this thievery, this energy. And then this hanged man, pile number 2, if you are in this hanged man energy now, let's say it was deceit in love, relationship. Let's say it was deceit in business or money matters. The Greek gods, these cards, these Greek gods they're showing you that yes, they know that you have been deceived, had this thing happen to you, and they're saying no more hanged man energy. They're saying your true fate is totally changing. They're telling you they're replacing this hanged man energy with the Wheel of Fortune. What goes down must come up. I was taking oh my God, I was taking a hike this morning, and some people that were ahead of me were going very slowly up an incline, and this was near the end of the hike. And so this hike that I was doing, you go down at the beginning, and then of course you have to go up. And this hike, these hikers were going very slowly ahead of me, just laboring up this hill, and people coming down said, what goes down must come up. And it's amazing that I heard that this morning. This is what is your message, your main message from the gods today. What goes down must come up. The Hanged Man, no more Hanged Man for you. Pile number 2. The Wheel of Fortune is totally and completely covering it, and you see what you have. 6 of Coins, being so abundant that you are sharing with others. 10 of Coins, so much abundance, it's an overabundance of abundance. Queen of Cups, the personification of emotional fulfillment. Queen of Swords, the personification of intelligence and just being your own best advocate and being your own priority. Knight of Wands, the fastest knight in the deck. This is telling us that you, Heracles, is telling you, go for it. No more Hangman energy. No more deceit. Because what is your spirit card? Your main card was the Coyote and Datura with deceit. The spirit card is the Cat and Lavender with independence. It's card number 1. And you know what happens when people smell lavender? Lavender is soothing and calming. And so it's telling you, this card is telling you that whatever you are doing, whatever you're replacing, this mulling over these thoughts of deceit and these thoughts of betrayal and these thoughts of pain, no more. Erase them from your mind. You can manifest all of these wonderful things. Wonderful things. Pile number 2. 10 of Pentacles. Did I say 10 of Cups before? I'm so sorry. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. I know I've said it earlier, but I just a little bit earlier I said 10 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles, an overabundance of abundance. Queen of Cups, the personification of emotional abundance and fulfillment. Queen of Swords, the personification of intelligence and knowing who you are and what you are. The Knight of Wands, the fastest knight in the deck. Action, forward action. The Wheel of Fortune, what goes down must come up. The 6 of Coins, being so abundant that you're able to share with others. Independence, the Cat and Lavender. That is your message from the gods today. You are ready to let go. Hanged Man is now standing straight up, and you are released from this energy. You are releasing yourself from this energy. Pile number 2. What an inspiring reading. I just want to go out right now and do all the things right now. What an awesome reading. I'm so impressed and I'm so happy for you. Please let me know what this is about in the comments if you want to. But I mean, just a fabulous reading. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of these readings. I do themed readings like this, and I also do the week ahead readings where I pick one card for each day and an overall card for the week. I love those readings. I post them on Saturdays for the week ahead starting Sunday through Saturday. So subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of these readings, and I'd love to see you again, and thank you so much for spending time with me. Have a great day. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful card. This is 39, the Otter and Cattail with Peace. What a gorgeous card. Look how happy that otter is. Excuse me, I just sneezed. And along with that, you chose this beautiful Amazonite crystal. going to be using this new deck that I just got of the Greek gods. But before that, we're going to take the same deck that I chose the 3 initial cards from, and we will get a shuffle them up. And you get a spirit card for you from the bottom of the deck. And feel this one. How cute. This is card 5. The sheep and blackberry with devotion. All right, so let's ask these Greek gods, what would you like to tell pile number 3? What does pile number 3 need to know? What are your messages for pile number 3, please? I think we might need a few more. Let me leave this here. The Hierophant with Dionysus. This was also on pile number 1. Dionysus is the god of wine and merriment. Page of Wands with Hemera. Look, she has a ring light. Maybe she's a YouTuber. The 6 of Wands with Nike. Nike's the goddess of sneakers. No, she's the goddess of victory, obviously. She's the goddess that obviously Nike was named after. We have the 9 of Cups with Amphoryte. This also was in pile number 1. This is the daughter of the personification of the sea, and she was also the wife of Neptune, who's the god of the sea, not the god personification. Wow, you're getting a lot from pile number 1. This is 2 of Wands with Asclepius. These are the this is the wand that the American Medical Association, I think it is, has a wand with the 2 snakes around it. This is that's his symbol, the father of medicine. So this is the High Priestess with Persephone. Persephone is the goddess of springtime, and she is the one. Okay, so Persephone is the goddess that she's the goddess of springtime, and her mother Demeter is the goddess of like abundance and harvest, and she was kidnapped by Hades, and he refused to bring her back and taken to the underworld, and he refused to bring her back until Zeus said, you have to bring her back because Demeter caused it to be winter because she was so upset that Persephone was kidnapped. So Zeus said, no, you have to bring her back. And meanwhile, Hades fed Persephone. Some myths say 4 months, some myths say 6 months. But anyway, she ate 4 pomegranate seeds. And because of that, then she has to stay in Hades for 6 months out of the year. It depends on what myth you're reading. And that's why we have winter now. So that is Persephone. And so let's take a couple more cards. 8 of Cups with Charon. Oh, you know, he is the, let me see what it looks like. Yeah, he's the one who is the what do you call it? Oh my gosh, there's a name for it. But anyway, a ferryman, he ferries people across the river Styx after they die. 8 of Cups. And then your final card, Page of Swords with Erebus. What an interesting card. I'm going to have to look him up. All right, and then we're going to take the Spirit card from the bottom of the deck. 7 of Wands with Soteria. I'm going to have to look her up too. What a cute card. Look at her bunny. All right, let's see what we have. I have the guidebook. It's a brand new deck, so let's see. So I told you about the rest, so let's look up Erebus, Page of Swords. Oop, I went right to it. God of Darkness. No wonder the card is so dark. The Son of Chaos. Erebus's dark mists encircled the world. His wife Nyx, the goddess of the night, drew his darkness across the sky to bring night. His name was used for the region of the underworld he resided in. Curiosity, restlessness, mental energy, understanding, insights, and inspiration. There is sometimes a misconception that darkness represents a lack of sight, that it is smothering, but with the god of darkness, Erebus, by your side, you will be able to see through the shadows that limit others. You are full of enthusiasm and fresh ideas, looking at the world with a new perspective. How interesting. And let's look at the 7 of Wands, Soteria. Goddess of safety, salvation, and deliverance in bunnies. A mysterious figure in the lore of the gods, Soteria was the goddess of safety and preservation from harm, her name being invoked as a sanctuary. Perseverance, defensiveness, maintaining control, setting boundaries, and challenge. You may be finding unexpected competition in your life that perhaps you are the subject of another person's envy. Soteria, the goddess of safety and salvation, is here for an extra layer of protection against those who wish to challenge you. Find sanctuary within her calming arms, because she knows you have the stamina and strength to withhold, endure, and overcome, and is here to lend her own defensive strength. This is a sign to hold your ground and stay true to your beliefs and what you value most. She is telling you to manifest. Stand true to your manifestation. Stand true to what you want. That's what she's telling us. We don't even need to question anymore. You're devoted to yourself. That's what I'm seeing. You have a peace and devotion to yourself. But let me look a little bit more, because I really want to see. Let's see what we have. Well, yeah, it's just so interesting. These two are together in close proximity with other, because 6 of Wands is very victorious. It's you're so victorious you're having a parade kind of victory. And the 8 of Cups is going within and like defeat, turning away from defeat. Meaning not in a good way, meaning the initial Rider-Waite-Smith, not initial, I keep on saying that, but the Rider-Waite, because there's been a lot of, the reason I'm saying it is that there's been a lot of recent riffs on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, like the before tarot and the after tarot, but the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, which is what most people are familiar with, if they're familiar with any tarot deck, shows a figure, walking away from 8 goblets on the bank of a river, or, you know, on a near a body of water, and he's just walking away. He's just given up. And so those are two really different energies. I mean, you know, they're different from each other. So you have quite a few I wanted to look up this Hemera. I'm not familiar with Hemera page ones. Goddess of the day. No wonder she has a ring light. Haha. A primordial goddess of the day, Hemera was a daughter to the god of darkness, Oh my gosh. He's her father. How interesting. He's the god of darkness, and she's goddess of the day, and he's her father. So she was a daughter to the god of darkness, Erebus, and the goddess of night, Nyx, and was married to Ether, the god of heavenly light. Hemera worked with Nyx to bring day and night. Nyx drew her dark veil across the sky every evening, and every morning when the veil was drawn back, her bright skies lit the earth, setting the scene for the sun gods to shine, who is, well, in this deck, I saw in one of the other piles, they have Apollo as the chariot, but the initial god of sun, you know, the initial sun god in Greek mythology was Helios. And then they started saying it was Apollo later. So Apollo was a god, and he kind of supplanted Helios as the god who would draw the sun chariot across the sky, which I always find funny. It's like you lose a job. You can be supplanted even if you're a god. So exploration, excitement, freedom, good news, confidence, and freshness. The night is past, and the goddess Hemera has risen to bring energies and opportunities in the light of day. So anyway, what I'm saying, my point is, pile number 3. Your overwhelming majority of your cards are positive. The overwhelming majority is positive. Even your main card that you chose, Peace, and your spirit card from this deck is Devotion. And even this one, I mean, this is maintaining higher ground and standing your ground against opposition. Maybe they're telling you that maybe you did walk away from something. Maybe you did change your mind. Why am I thinking that this has to be a negative card? Maybe it's not, because it's surrounded by overwhelming positivity. Pile number 3, I think I'm seeing what the message is here. You might have walked away from somebody, some situation. You might have walked away from a manifestation. You might have decided you don't want something that you were actually working for. And you might be questioning yourself, or you might be having people in the 3D questioning you. But pile number 3, the message that you're getting is stand firm in your conviction. Be devoted and have peace in your conviction, because the gods are telling you that whatever you did decide, whatever you walked away from, or whatever this is, it is going to end up positive. You have so many positive cards here. It's an extremely fortunate reading. You have 2 pages, and they are also father and daughter. You have stability with this Hierophant. You have the stability and it's like you have the stability here that you are creating and you have created. The 2 of Wands, you did think about this. You did think about whatever it was that you're leaving behind. It could be even your old self-concept. You could, you know what? You know how sometimes when people level up, when people find themselves, find their purpose, find something, and they start being their true selves, sometimes people around that person, and I think pile number 3, this is happening to you, sometimes around that person, everyone else that's used to the overgiver, or the one that would always make the self-deprecating comments, or the one that, whatever it was, who is no longer doing that, who's no longer being that person that's trying to buy love, or trying to do things for love, or trying to, you know, overgive whatever for love. When the person stops that, people around them can be upset because they see themselves differently, because this person, you, pile number 3, is acting differently. And so we see with the 7 of Wands that Soteria is telling you to hold true to your new self-concept. Hold true to what you are manifesting now, what you believe. Because you have victory, and you have the 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. And you have the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands, very connected. They're saying, you know, kind of bringing this new energy, You are bringing this new energy to your own life. This is what the gods are telling you. This is what I'm seeing in this reading. You're bringing this new energy. Instead of bringing it to other people, you're bringing this new energy to yourself. And what you're doing might be making people feel upset. Hi, pile number 1. Sorry, my phone ran out of memory, and I had to delete some videos really quickly and put it back on. So anyway, what I was saying is, you are making people, not you are making, I misspoke. Your actions, you might be seeing some pushback in the 3D with your devotion, your new devotion to yourself. You're putting yourself first. You've decided that you are now putting yourself first. You're putting yourself first. You know Demeter, who's Persephone's mother? Just think about it. She's putting herself first. She's putting herself first, her grief over her daughter's imprisonment. Every year she puts herself first and brings winter and kind of revels in her grief. Not that I want you to revel in your grief, but what I'm saying is she put herself first. She puts herself first every year. So what I'm seeing is you being stable and bringing yourself, your own vision, your vision of your future, serving you only, saying goodbye to your old things that were not serving you anymore. And you're becoming victorious. You are being victorious in your new decision, and hold firm. And you might have to just, what I'm seeing here is the message that the gods are telling you is you might have to just start seeing people differently. The people that might be pushing back on you, your new self-concept, your ability to see yourself differently, you have to see them differently so you can see them as people who will support you and love you, people who will love you for who you are and not for what you give them, what you do for them. That's what I'm seeing, that you trust yourself, and it looks like you already have trusted yourself, that you are already at peace with what you have decided, that you're at peace with yourself. This is you, happily swimming in your own cattail bath. Okay? And so you extend that to others. You extend your self-concept to others. We know that in manifestation, others see us as we see us. And you might be seeing yourself still as having a little bit of guilt over putting yourself first. And the gods are telling you, these cards are telling you you're manifesting this reading, right? You're manifesting this reading. And the reading is telling you what you already know, is that it's perfect that you're putting yourself first now. And what you need to do is, all you need to do now is see others as accepting you the way you are. Accepting your new self-concept. Because you're stable in your own life right now. You're stable. You know what you are. And what in the future what is coming for you is you having the life where everybody accepts you just as you accept yourself. Everybody accepts you the way you are. Everybody accepts you the way you are, this Nine of Cups, completely abundant. And putting yourself first. So this is your new self-concept. These cards, I feel, are personifications of your new self-concept. The High Priestess, the Manifestation card. The High Priestess is a manifestation card. It's manifesting what you want into reality. And the Nine of Cups, which is, she is abundance. She's abundant, and she's also stable. So maybe even Dionysus, as the Hierophant, is also part of your self-concept. Stability and knowing what you have and being stable, being in a stable relationship, being in a stable life, being stable. And everybody needs to accept you just as you are, and you've walked away from what no longer serves you. So that is what I see for you. Pile number 3, I'm impressed with what you've been doing. I'm impressed with how hard you've worked and what you've done. It looks like you're on your final part of your manifestation, which is people, you've become the new you through your hard work, and what you need to do now is just see everybody as accepting you. This is such an interesting and motivating reading. Pile number 3, this is such a beautiful reading, and I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you see how far you've come. I hope that these cards are telling you and showing you just how far you've already come. You've already come so far. And if you have liked this reading, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any readings. I do themed readings, and I also do every week on Saturday, I post a Your Week Ahead reading, which is Sunday through Saturday. And it is a card for every day and a card for the overall week and a couple of cards for the more long-term energy. And those are always really fun. And so I hope that you come back and see me very soon, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you. Bye.